Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Leigh Fuge, and in this video today we're going to be talking about the brand new M305 Tremolo from the guys at MXR. This is the brand new M305 Tremolo. This is the tremolo effects return to the MXR line, and they've housed quite a lot of cool features in a very small box. So we've got a real simple layout here. We've got three knobs: speed, depth and gain. The gain control also doubles as a push switch to select one of the 6 tremolo types. So whatever type of tremolo you like, there's probably something in here for everyone. There's also a sort of a secret mode which is called the envelope mode, which is an additional type of tremolo which is controlled by how intensely you play. So we'll dig into that a little bit too. It's pretty standard for an MXR pedal. It's the usual size enclosure. We've got our standard in and our out. We've also got an additional jack here on the side, which is labelled the control jack. Cool thing about this second jack is there's also a very small little dip switch here, which has a 2-position switch inside. So in one position, it's for tap tempo switches and expression pedals, so you can control the effect and the speed of the effect by tapping a tempo on a switch or by pushing an expression pedal forward. And we can also set that to audio mode, which enables the control jack to be a second output jack. So if you want to use your tremolo as a stereo effect, you can also do that with this pedal. The only limitation there is if you wanted a stereo tremolo that you had full tap control over, you can't set that up with this. You can only have tap and expression or a stereo out. But either way, there's still quite a lot of features in there. The 6 different tremolo types are determined by pushing the gain switch. So the gain switch actually doubles as a push switch as well. There's a double lighting system here. So we've got green and red lights. We've got a series of 3 LEDs there. Each one will light up one of 2 colors depending on which mode is enabled. There's 3 modes written down one side and 3 on the other side. So anything with a green LED is on this side and anything with a red LED is on this side. So from the top down, we've got the classic M159 MXR Tremolo. We've also then got the bias mode, which is sort of like a pushed tube amp tremolo. You imagine like tube compression being in there as well. Got one then called Revo, which is like a reverse waveform. This sort of exaggerates the peaks and the valleys of the tremolo. We've got Opto mode, which is like a smooth sort of vintage tube amp tremolo style. The pulsating is quite smooth and quite soft. We've got Square mode, which is like a choppy sort of harsh tremolo. So if you want those sort of stuttery tremolo effects, Square mode's great for that. And we've also got a Harmonic Tremolo. Harmonic Tremolo is a lot of fun because it also adds a little bit of modulation to the field as well. So as well as getting those kind of tremolo ups and downs with the volume, you get a little bit of swirl going on as well. And like I said, there's also the hidden envelope mode. We can also set the maximum speed and the maximum depth for the envelope mode, which we'll dig into later on in the video as well. The guitar I'm going to be using for this video is my Shergold Masquerader SM03. This is a triple single coil style guitar. I've got a Blackstar Studio 10 6L6 over there behind me, mic'd up with a Lewitt Audio LCT 440 condenser microphone. And the other thing I've got here in front of me is I've got the Analog Man King of Tone for a little bit of overdrive later on in the video. I picked this one basically because it's the same colour as the MXR Tremolo. I thought we'd stick with the purple and gold theme for the pedals for this video. So we'll start off looking at just the classic MXR Tremolo. So you can see here the green LED is flashing. The green being this side, that means the MXR Tremolo is enabled. So I'm going to leave all the knobs at 12 o'clock. So let's dig into some tweaking now. So I'm going to push the gain a little bit. This should increase the overall volume of the tremolo. And I'm going to slow it down a little bit, but I want it a little deeper. So we can see the pulsating light here is actually slowed down. So the LED here flashes in time with how fast the tremolo is going. Let's go a little bit faster now and a little shallower. So as you can see, the great thing with this is the knobs are very self-explanatory. The speed literally controls the speed of the tremolo, the depth controls how intense the tremolo effect is, and the gain literally controls how loud or quiet it is. So if I just strum a chord and manipulate the gain control, you're not going to hear a sort of a wet dry thing, you're just going to hear the tremolo get louder or quieter. That feature is pretty useful to have in the pedal because one of the big problems with using an effect like tremolo is tremolo actually dips your volume. So if you imagine using this in a gig situation, as soon as you hit that tremolo and your volume starts dipping, you're going to lose your signal. So the gain control there can actually put a little bit of that signal back in, so while you're technically boosting with the tremolo, so it actually makes your effect come a little bit more forward. So I think that's very, very useful to have, especially if you're going to use this in a band situation. So I'm going to strum a chord again, and I'm going to run through how much the speed and depth controls move. So if you want some really extreme choppy tremolo sounds, that depth control all the way up is where you need to be. It's great because you can kind of blend a nice subtle one in too, so if you set the depth control maybe just above a quarter of the way up, you can almost not even hear it, there's just a little flutter of the tremolo there as well. So now I'm going to press the gain control, I'm going to go into the bias mode, I'm going to put the depth back up a little bit here so we can hear it better. Now let's push the speed all the way up on bias mode. There's a little bit extreme there, so I'll pull that one back a little bit. I think the bias mode sounded the best around about here. So let's go over now to Revo mode. So I'll push the gain control again. This is taking us down to a green LED, so that means we're on the Revo mode. This is like an optical reverse sort of waveform, so this should exaggerate the highs and the lows of the tremolo effect, but not so much in the middle. Almost a little synthy in parts there, so let's push the speed all the way up. And bring that back down, push the depth up. So you can definitely hear those exaggerated sort of choppy highs and lows there. So let's dial in something a little bit more subtle there. So let's get everything just above midnight, except for the gain because we want that push in the front end. Now let's go to Opto mode. This is sort of like a vintage tube amp compression style, similar to the bias. The bias is sort of like tubes being pushed real hard. This is just more of a smooth pulsating tube amp style tremolo. So we'll start off quite subtle. Let's go all the way with the speed. And now bring the speed back down and the depth all the way up. My favourite settings for this would probably be with the depth sort of just above halfway and the speed on about halfway. Right, now let's take a look at the square mode. So this is going to be a typical square waveform tremolo. It's going to be very choppy. Think of those sudden drop-offs. So you've got your peak and you've got your valley, and it's just a straight drop. So it's on and off. So that's a pretty typical tremolo sound there. Most tremolo pedals tend to work with a square wave at some point, so you're probably going to be familiar with that sound. So let's push the speed all the way up and let's see the range of the speed control. So that's pretty typical of what you'd expect there. Now the depth control here should control the intensity of that. So let's play with the depth control all the way up. So that's an incredibly choppy tremolo sound there. It sort of cuts it off immediately and you get that complete silence in the valleys. So that is literally like an on and off kind of thing. If you drop the speed a little bit, you can get some really interesting sounds there. If we put the depth all the way down, this is what we're going to hear. It's not going to go anywhere because this type of tremolo is, like I said, and very on and off style. Even with the depth up slightly, it's too subtle to hear, so we have to put the depth up to at least halfway. Finally, we'll take a look at the harmonic tremolo. So once again, press the gain button to turn that LED red. We're now in harmonic tremolo mode. So what we're going to hear now is a tremolo effect and some modulation built in. So this is my personal favourite type of tremolo because we do start to get somewhat into the Leslie range here. So let's push the depth up a little bit more. We should get a little bit more modulation kind of stuff there, and slow the rate down. So now let's play with the speed on the harmonic tremolo, so we'll go all the way to full to start off. So now let's take the speed back to halfway and the depth all the way up. And let's see how the depth sounds all the way down. So now let's look at the envelope mode. This is sort of like a hidden feature of the pedal, which is an envelope style tremolo, which allows you to control the intensity and the speed based on how you play. So to enter this mode with the pedal switched on, you hold the gain control for 3 seconds, and then the blue LED will start to flash, like so. So now the envelope mode is turned on, the harder I play, the faster the tremolo will get. So you can also adjust the maximum speed here. So to do this, you have to hold the gain knob and twist the speed control. So by doing so, we should see the green LEDs there flash. So those lights are now flashing in time with the speed that I've set as my maximum. So let's set this all the way up. So now my speed control is set on the maximum setting. So obviously the harder I play, the closer I'm going to get to the speed on the tremolo pedal being on full. So I can do the same thing with the depth, so I'm just going to reset the speed, so put that back to about halfway. Now we'll do the same with the depth, and what we'll get is the LEDs will flash red. Actually, they won't flash red, they'll basically just go up like a sort of meter here, so obviously you can see with the depth down, I've only got one LED lit, and with the depth all the way up, I've got all of them lit. So the same thing here, the harder I play, the more that depth control is going to react. This also works with different types of tremolo, so I've just switched there back to the standard MXR tremolo. Let's go for the bias tremolo. A bit more speed there. When you're done with envelope mode, you simply just hold the gain control for 3 more seconds, and then the LED will stop flashing, and then you're just back in regular manual control mode. So in the manual control mode, your playing dynamics aren't going to affect how the tremolo sounds. So the envelope mode's pretty cool if you use some dynamic tremolo stuff. If you want to actually increase the speed or the intensity by how you play, that can be quite a creative feature to get stuck into. So that's a run through of the basic sort of tremolo stuff there. That's all on the clean channel. Now we're going to look at it with some overdrive. So I'm going to reset the pedal so the speed and depth are just straight up at midnight. And I'm going to kick on the low gain side of the King of Tone. So straight away now we're on the classic MXR Tremolo to start. So now let's go and reset that once more to midnight, and we'll go to the bias tremolo. Because the bias mode already has some of those sort of tube amp compression characteristics, running the overdrive in front of it should give it a little bit more of a kick. I'll reset that once more, and now we'll go to the Revo mode. So that's pretty cool for some choppy style sounds. Reset the pedal again, and this time we'll go to the optical mode. So now we're going to hear a smooth pulsating tremolo. And now let's take a look at the square tremolo mode. So this is going to be the real harsh, choppy tremolo. And finally, the harmonic tremolo. So there you go guys, there is a run through of all the features built into the brand new MXR M305 Tremolo pedal. So like I said at the start of the video, this is the return to the MXR catalogue for the tremolo effect, and I gotta say it's a pretty good return. This tiny little tremolo pedal has a ton of features in it. It's got 6 different types of tremolo, plus that really cool envelope filter, which you can actually use for each of the subtypes of tremolo. So technically you've got 12 different types there, 6 which you can control manually, or with a tap tempo switch or an expression pedal, and 6 which you can put into envelope mode and control with the dynamics of your playing. So it makes for a very, very versatile unit. It's got just 3 knobs, but it can do a lot. The 6 different modes are really cool. Personally, I love that harmonic tremolo. That's got some real cool Leigh vibes about it. And the square tremolo is nice too, because it's just your great sort of standard, here's a choppy sounding tremolo that you can come up with some cool textures with. I think the dual color LEDs is definitely useful to see which mode you're in. That makes it a lot easier than perhaps sort of a 6-position switch. The only thing I maybe would like to see was, instead of the gain switch being the push to change between them, I personally like a dedicated button to take care of that, only because it's quite sensitive, and obviously if you were playing on stage and you accidentally kicked that, you'd then have to cycle through all the patches to get back to where you started. So maybe the only thing I'd like to see would be like, maybe in this top corner up here, a little push button like you see on all MXR pedals, just to bank between those 6 different types of tremolo. But really that's me looking for something to complain about. I think as it is, it's great. I personally would feel that I might kick the gain knob if I was using it on the floor for a gig, but I suppose that's a minor inconvenience for a great sounding pedal. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys are excited by the return to the MXR catalog for a tremolo pedal. It's definitely been a while coming, and it's great to see the tremolo back with a vengeance, especially in such a versatile package. And I mean, look at this color scheme, it looks great too. The whole reason I picked the Analog Man King of Tone as my drive for this was purely based on the color. I love this kind of purple and gold aesthetic that's going on there. It looks great, it sounds great, and I think MXR have done a great job. So it's really cool to see that back in the line. I think it's great. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about the sounds of this tremolo pedal. It's going to be released on the 1st of November 2020, so if you're watching this video in the 3 days that precede that from me releasing this video, then it's not out yet, but chances are by the time you see this, the pedal is going to be out, so go check it out. It's a great pedal. And if you did enjoy this video, guys, please go down and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Your subscriptions really help me to keep on growing this channel, and it helps me to keep making cool videos with great brands like MXR. And also, I really appreciate all you guys who come along, check out the videos, and get involved in the cool gear discussions that always go on down below in the comments. It's always great to hear what you guys think of the products in the video as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon.